Oh, hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Higurashi. We're streaming for Halloween. We're gonna do it. We're gonna stream Higurashi tonight. How you all doing? Hope you're having uh a good Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Work was long. It was long today. Glad to be home. Glad to be at home. Gonna play Higurashi When They Cry. I got it all set up and ready to go. Let's see. I'm starting chapter 9 right now. So, yes, load this one. View all new tips. We got a notice from the police chief. July 1st, 1982. To departments 1 through 12. That's a lot of departments. Redacted Prefectural Police Headquarters. Director General redacted. To the Chief Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in the Hinamizawa village, notice. As cases in Shishibone City, Hinamizawa village have been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinomiya Station, 1982, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village housewife murder, dated June, redacted. Okinomiya Station, 1982, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village student disappearance, dated June, redacted. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okinomiya Station, 1979, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village site foreman murder, dated June, redacted. Shira Station, 1980, case number redacted. Shirakawa Natural Park falling incident, dated June, redacted. Okinomiya Station, 1981, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village Shinto priest's wife's disappearance, dated June, redacted. 3. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management. Redacted Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal line. Redacted. Police Affairs Department, redacted. Okay, that was just a bunch of redacted information. Okay, let's continue. Last time we learned that Rena was listening in on our conversation with the police officer without us knowing. So, that's fun. Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day.
どうしたの？ケイチ、今朝は顔色悪いわよ。昨べは何時に寝たの？
Did I even sleep last night? If I knew, like, one of my friends was, like, creeping outside of my bedroom, like, in my house, creeping outside of my bedroom, after they kind of went crazy on me earlier in the day, it seemed that my mom had noticed my sullen state. Yesterday, I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. That's all I would be able to do is feel a presence. Like, I just, feel creeped out. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. I told myself repeatedly that it was my imagination and forced myself to try and sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease.
風邪かもしれない。なんだか食欲ないんだ。
Uh-oh.
あら。ちょっと熱あるんじゃない？
I'm sick, Mom. I'm sick. I don't want to go to school today.
どうする？学校行ける？
No. I would not want to go to school to face my friend knowing that they were creeping outside of my bedroom. Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. It wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Startled, I looked back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met up with Rena. It was Rena. At the door! Oh
レナ
no.
ちゃん迎えに来ちゃったけど、どうする？
Tell her I'm not here!
お休みする？
Tell her I'm not here. Nana was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. The lunches she made were delicious, and she always looked out for me. Why should I be so scared of something like that? Because she was creeping outside your bedroom yesterday, listening in on your conversation? Like, that's... Oh, no thank you. It wasn't Rena's... Keiichi-kun. It was probably mine. Oh my god. It had to have been my cold. It just had to be. You think he's... Are you hallucinating her being there?
休む。
Oh my god.
ごめん。
じゃあ、母さんが断ってきてあげるわね。
Mom headed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep-deprived, I quickly fell into a deep slumber. Sleeping. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when I woke up. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mom and Dad had apparently driven off to somewhere far away. Oh my god, he's gonna be home alone! It likely had to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. They would be back for dinner, but might be a bit late. On the note, it said, "The insurance card is in the cabinet. Take it and go to the hospital." There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. I had a light lunch, although it was really just leftovers from the morning, and just in case, went to the hospital. Going to see the doctor. Normally, I'd never be here in the middle of a weekday. Just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. Following my mom's map, I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital's sign came into view. Irie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinamizawa, it was far too grand. They got mail. There was a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. Oh, look at that cute little sign. It's like an alligator. Oh, I like it. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen.
前原さん、診察室へどうぞ。
After half-heartedly answering all of the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with the old, "It's probably a cold." They gave me a shot and 3 days' worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but if it would clear away the gloomy feeling I'd been having lately, then it was worth it. I settled the bill and took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. If it just wasn't for that word.
やっぱり鬼隠しかいね。
Oh no, Onikashi.
どうかね。まだまだ若い子だけゃ。駆け落ちかもしられへん。
Are they talking about that blonde lady that was with Tomitake-san?
どこの誰とよ。季節のたびに東京門が来ちょったろ。
Yeah, that's who they're talking about.
でっけえカメラ持った若者が。
That's Tomitake, and he's dead.
あれと仲が良きゃったって話。知られへんの？
Were they together? Were they talking about Tomitake-san? I could feel my ears perking up.
そら知らんけど。でも、普通駆け落ちっても仁義あるだろう。
You have to make preparations before you elope? I guess maybe in Japan you do. You just go to Vegas if you're here in the States.
書き置きとか辞表とか書かんかいね。
すったらんかかんから駆け落ち言うんね。
Right? That's what an elopement is.
わきゃ看護師さんの顔見られんようなるわ。寂しいね。
She's a nurse? Was she a nurse here?
高野さんはしっかり者よ。
Oh, Takano-san. Is she a nurse? She is a nurse. Is she a nurse here at this clinic?
どこへ行ってもやっていけろん。
So her name was Takano-san? That woman with Tomitake-san? And she worked at this clinic? Oyashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began talking about fishing, and it didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic, so I gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I wasn't able to escape from Oyashiro-sama's shadow. But of course. Oyashiro-sama was the garden deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack with the change from the examination fee on the way home. Contemplating that, I turned onto a familiar street. At that moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far into the middle of the road where I'd be in a car's way? I moved farther off to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around, peeved. Oh my god, it's the police officer! Leave me alone!
こんにちは。
It was Oishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. They mention air conditioning like a lot in this game. Like, the clinic had AC. This car has AC. They must not have AC in like any of the other buildings or something.
今日はどうしたんです？
What's up?
学校はお休みですか？
ちょっと体調悪かったんで今日は休みました。お昼を買って帰ろうとしてたところです。
そりゃよかった。実は私お昼に行こうとしてたんですよ。
Alright, let's go
よかっ
eat
たら
lunch.
ご一緒にいかがです？ああ、お体に触るようでしたら構いませんよ。
I was just going to lie down after going home anyway. And I didn't really have a cold. He's faking it!
地元の食堂だと嫌でしょう。町まで行きましょ
Okay.
う。ちょっと走りますがよろしいですかな？私、おいしいお店知ってるんですよ。
Sure. I'd finally begun to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted to talk to me about stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in Hinamizawa. And I talked about the curse or whatever. I went with Oishi-san, riding in his frigid car. It was almost as if the bright sunlight outside was a lie.
昨べは遅くまですみませんでしたね。ご家族に怒られませんでしたか？
いえ。
No, my parents didn't get mad at me. I recalled Dena, who had been listening to the phone conversation all that time, separated from me by just the door. Creepy AF. Even now, in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. With a big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting to the city changed from dirt to pavement. My head swiveled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This was where Tomitake-san died. Oh, he died right here.
富武さんの捜査は暗礁に乗り上げています。
Damn it. Oishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eye.
自分の爪で喉をかき破るという異常さから幻覚作用のある何らかの薬物によるものだと信じているのですが。
But I thought he didn't have any drugs in his system.
こういう症状、それも急激に引き起こす薬物はなかなかないらしいんです。もちろん検視解剖もそれを念頭に置いて十分に行ったのですが、
Right? Yeah.
手がかりはやはりありませんでした。
漫画なんかによくあるじゃないですか。体内に取り込まれると分解したりして証拠が何も残らないなんて、そんな薬。
Isn't that mostly fake though?
ありますよ。
It exists, so I was mistaken.
演歌作詞何でしたっけ？
I wonder if that is a real thing. Let me look it up. Succinyl coal something? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's look this up. Delete that search. Oh, succinylcholine. A short-acting muscle relaxant used during surgery and other short medical procedures. It's a depolarizing skeletal muscle relaxant used adjunctly to anesthesia and for skeletal muscle relaxation during intubation, mechanical ventilation, and surgical procedures. I mean... That doesn't seem like it would induce, doesn't seem like it would be, a hallucinogen, though. It's a muscle relaxer. This doesn't seem, yeah. Depolarizing neuromuscular blockade. And it's short acting. Disrupts cholinergic receptors in the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, leading to skeletal muscle relaxation. Yeah, for like intubation. When I was in vet med, when I worked as a veterinary technician, we didn't use that as part of our anesthesia protocol, but yeah, that doesn't sound like a hallucinogen though. Like that would induce like violent throat clawing.
まあ、結構あります。でもですね、
I mean, maybe if
富
it
武さんの
was
ような症状を引き起こす薬物にはそういうものはないそうなんですよ。
right. Yeah, that does not seem to be like a drug that would cause that reaction.
じゃあ警察は富武さんは叩いて死んだってそう言うんですか？
Was he just cursed? I couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. I just wanted the idea of a curse to be dissociated from Tomitake-san's mysterious death.
悔しいですが今のところは。ですが死因はともかく死ぬ前に何人かの人間に囲まれて暴行を受けたことだけは間違いありません。
He was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died, but he didn't die from the beating.
人間が事件に関わっているのは疑いようがありませんよ。
Yeah, that would involve, yeah. I agree. That made me a bit relieved. But who were those people? Like, who was this group? We passed in front of the rather desolate but still busier than Hinamizawa train station. Does Hinamizawa even have a train station? The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot, and I followed Oishi-san into the shop. It was pretty crowded, but there were only adults at this hour. Of course there wouldn't be children in here in the middle of a weekday.
2名です。タバコは、我慢します。
Oh my god, back when places had smoking and non-smoking sections. Oh man. I mean, I don't know, they might still have smoking and non-smoking sections in Japan, I don't know.
こちらへどうぞ。ご注文がお決まりになりましたらお呼びください。
We were led by a peculiarly, oh my god, why am I having such a hard time saying that? Peculiarly dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Oishi-san in the booth.
どうです？
Oh, good. Sorry. What do you think? What do I
こ
think?
のお店のウェイトレスさんの格好、可愛らしいと思いません？
Is this a maid cafe? Are we at a maid cafe?
え？まあそのどうでしょうね。
このお店ね、いっつも大人気なんですよ。
Is he a pervert? Is he a pervert?
お料理よりもウェイトレスさんがね。
Oh my god, Oishi-san, please.
ああ、大石さん、目がやらしいですよ。
Right, you pervert. Pervert.
そうですか？
So difficult. My god. My god. Stop being a creepy old man. Nobody likes that. Ooh. Desserts look yummy. That looks yummy. That looks really yummy. I'd eat that. I'd eat that one right there in the middle. Maybe without the orange. I don't know. But that looks yummy. That looks yummy too. I don't know what that is down there though. But like chocolate and like a banana and a cherry and a strawberry, that looks yummy. Yummy. Regardless of how the waitresses looked, the food was decent enough. Finishing our meals while talking about some inane topic, Oishi-san's after-meal cup of coffee arrived at the table.
昨日、南沢の昔話が出ましたよね。
Yes, we did.
ええ、 人食い鬼の里だって言われてたって話でしたっけ？
It's the village of man-eating demons. Or something like that.
私もあんまり詳しい方じゃないので、うちのばあ様に今朝ちょっと聞いてみたんです。
He asked his mom. Ichigo shortcake. Strawberry shortcake. What does that one say? Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Okay, I'm done reading. Oishi-san took out the notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket.
なんでもですね、大昔はひなみ沢は鬼ヶ淵って呼ばれてたんだそうです。
Oh, it wasn't always called Hinamizawa? Or was it always named Hinamizawa but like informally called Onigafuchi? I would not want to live in a place that was like called the Demon's Abyss. No thank you.
鬼ヶ淵。すごい名前ですね。
Right?
今でもその名前残ってるんですよ。
Oh, the name's still around?
神主の妻が受水自殺した沼の名前は今でも鬼ヶ淵というんです。
Oh, damn. Why would you name a place I mean, I can't say, like, why would you name a place that, but when we have, like, that, where's that place in California that's, like, or, like, Hell, Michigan? There's a Hell, Michigan.
沼の底の底は鬼たちの住む国とつながってると言われてたんだそうです。
Death Valley, California, yeah. Of course, nobody had told me anything about such an ominous swamp.
でですね、鬼ヶ淵は恐れられていたと同時に崇められてもいたんだそうです。
The swamp, or Hinamizawa, a respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was a kind of deification. A village of inhuman creatures.
鬼たちはある種の仙人でもあったらしいんですよ。
Okay, demons were seinen, or mountain-dwelling mystics of sorts.
例えば、不治の病にかかった村人を鬼ヶ淵に運んで治してもらったりとかしたんだそうです。
Oh, so they would like work miracles? Even if we are calling them demons, Tengu, long-nosed goblins, or seinen would be a more apt description.
鬼って言ってもそんなに悪い人たちじゃないみたいですね。
Yeah, if they're curing like the incurable, that's kind of a nice thing to do, right?
でもそこはやっぱり人食い鬼らしいんです。
But they were still man-eat. When did they eat people?
ばあ様に聞いた昔話ではですね、息子を治療してもらった代償として連れてきた母親を食わせろと
Oh
言われ
God.
るらしいんですよ。
Oh God. Okay, I take it back. I take it back.
息子を治療してもらった対価が自分ですか？
Well, you know, it's like equivalent exchange, right? I mean, we learned about that in, Full Metal Alchemist, right? The law of equivalent exchange.
それは怖いな。
もちろん母親は息子を連れて逃げます。これをですね、鬼ヶ淵に住む村人、鬼たちがですね、全員で追いかけて取り囲んで捕まえたんだそうです。
Did they end up taking them both? The entire village, apparently. That's quite a frightening thing to imagine.
結局、母親も息子も捕まって食べられちゃったんだそうです。
Gross. That's unsettling.
おしまい。
The end. Thanks.
その話 矛盾がありますよ。
Yeah, what's the... Yeah.
当事者の2人が食べられちゃったんですから、その話が残るはずがありません。
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Keiichi, you're smart. You're a smart cookie.
ありゃ。
Oh?
昔話はこういうの多いですよね。
Angel Mort. Like, is that like French? Well, it wouldn't be angel, it would be ange. Angel Mort. Death? Angel death? In contrast to the ghastly tale, Oishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee.
でもですね、他の昔話にも結構あるらしいんですよ。
Are there?
鬼ヶ淵の鬼たちが総出で獲物を捕まえに来るというのは。
Where the demons from Onigafuchi band together to capture their prey. I recalled that Mion said all the villagers united and fought against the dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part about unification overlapped.
鬼たちの獲物は常に一人で、しかも前もって決められているらしいんです。
Okay.
え？
That's creepy. That caught my attention. Oishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant.
ばあ様が言うにはですね、鬼の狩りの時には絶対に邪魔をしてはいけない。家に閉じこもって布団をかぶってろって言うんです。
I mean, protect yourself, I guess.
つまりどういうことですか？
Right? How does this tie into everything?
獲物の人を助けたり、かくまったりしてはいけないんだそうです。鬼の狩りを邪魔しない限り、村人には危害を加えない。
Okay.
そういうルールなんだそうです。
Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities, in other words.
ルールを破ったらどうなるんです？
You get eaten too, I bet! You get eaten!
さあ、何しろ人食い鬼ですからね。
Right? They're man-eating demons. Many parts of that tale caught my attention. Parts of the story he told me overlapped with the theory that the entire village was in on the crime. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die when there's a group that was on the hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak it.
じゃあ大石さんはやっぱり村ぐるみもしくは村人数人の犯行だと見てるんですね。
Why would they kill Tomitake-san though? Like, I don't understand.
前原さんはどう思います？ああ、すみません。コーヒーのおかわりいいですか？
That's what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say that last part. He waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before speaking.
去年、サトシ君が失踪した頃から私は不審に感じていたんです。
Was he gonna tell me more about Satoshi-kun? Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee.
それで、サトシさんのお友達、つまり前原さんのお友達グループの皆さんをちょっぴりだけ。
I had a...
本当にちょっぴりだけですよ。調べさせてもらったんです。
Oh, he did background checking of my friends? If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have gotten angry at him for calling my friends into question. But as I was now, I couldn't.
とてもつまらない話になります。前原さんがつまらないと感じたらいつでもおっしゃってください。
Okay.
終わりにしますので。
Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression that I'd ever seen from him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the truth.
お願いします。
Onegaishimasu! That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he began.
1年目の事件の被害者は現場の監督さんだったんですが、事件の数週間前に園崎美音さんと取っ組み合いをしてるんですよ。
That I knew. I mean, how old was she? Like, what, this was, 4 or 5 years ago? So, like, if she's 17 now, she would have been, 12, 13? If she's 16, she would have been, 12, 13? Or, no. $11, $12? That's crazy.
何度か。
Multiple altercations. Oishi-san had said before that Mion had defied the dam project vehemently. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up.
2年目の事件で誘致派の夫婦が事故に遭いましたよね。
Yep.
現場にはお嬢さんも一緒にいたんです。
Their daughter was with them.
それが北条聡子さんなんです。
Satoko.
え？聡子って、聡子？
Oishi-san's look told me that my voice was too loud. I realized it as well and quickly quieted down.
3年目には神主夫婦が亡くなられますよね。そのお嬢さんが古出里香さんです。
リカ
ちゃんが
4年目に亡くなった主婦はもうわかりますね。
The housewife was that Satoko's mom?
北条聡子さんの
Oh.
義理のおばです。
Step aunt. Okay.
当時は聡子さんはご両親を事故で失っていましたの
Oh
で、
yeah, that's right. Both
預
of
け
her
られてい
parents
た
were
ので
dead.
す。
So she stayed with her aunt, and then her step aunt was beaten. She was beaten to death.
被害者宅に
I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape. I had thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, one that I could easily distance myself from. But clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet.
ちなみに4年目に失踪した北条聡さんは聡子さんの実の兄になります。
Yeah, and that's Satoshi.
ちょっと待ってください。
Poor Satoko. I mean, I don't like Satoko because she's a brat, but man, she's gone through some shit. It took everything I had to finally say that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. But Oishi-san was relentless. There's more? Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. The last of the things I shouldn't have heard.
被害者たちはなぜかあなたのお友達グループに全てつながるのです。
All my friends are connected to these murders!
偶然に決まってるじゃないですか。
It's not just a coincidence, Keiichi-kun.
前原さん、静かに静かに。
Yeah, calm down, Keiichi.
みんな見てますよ。
Mion? Satoko? Rika-chan? So what if they're connected? You're telling me all of my friends? It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Oh, Rena is different, isn't she? Rena isn't connected with the victims at all.
リュグ・レナさんは去年まで茨城の郊外にお住まいでした。
Yeah, how does she fit into all of this?
まあ確かにいずれの被害者とも直接の面識はありませんが。
He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying she's also connected?
実は調べてみたら、リュグーさんは引っ越しの少し前に学校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。
What was she suspended from school for? What happened?
なんでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
Oh, okay. That's unsettling.
レナが学校中のガラスを割った？
Yeah. That same spacey Rena had... I couldn't even imagine it.
3日間の謹慎が明けた後も復学しなかったようです。
Oh, dang. She destroyed all the windows in her school. She only got suspended for 3 days? But she never came back?
その間に神経科に通院し、自律神経失調症と診断され、何週間かの間、投薬と医師によるカウンセリングを受けています。
What's that? Let me look that up. Let's look that up. Open up. Dysautonomia. A nervous system disorder that disrupts automatic body processes. These are automatic functions like your blood pressure and heart rate. Having dysautonomia means these functions don't work properly, causing disruptive symptoms. These symptoms are often manageable, but diagnosing and treating dysautonomia is sometimes difficult. I mean, if it's stuff that's like that you don't think about, like blood pressure, body temperature, breathing, digestion, heart rate, sweating. Symptoms include, but aren't limited to, chest pain, mood swings, fainting, fatigue, and dizziness. Okay. Vision problems, shortness of breath, trouble swallowing, mood swings, fatigue, sexual dysfunction, migraines. I mean, that doesn't sound like anything that would cause you to like go around and destroy all the windows in your house, though. She was given weeks of counseling and medication. I wonder if it was something like a nervous breakdown. I'd heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Ooh. Neither of those matched Rena's easygoing personality.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテにレナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね。
Oh?
その中に出てくるんですよ。
It shows up?
結構。
It? What's it? And how does he, like, I mean, well, I guess if he's a police officer, he could, I don't know, somehow get her medical information. He should not be sharing it with me, though. Isn't that, like, against HIPAA?
何がです？
I mean, I'm sure if that's the United States, HIPAA doesn't exist in Japan, but I'm sure they probably have some sort of similar law, right? I pressed forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to regret.
出てくるんですよ。
She mentioned...
お社様って単語が。
She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Bum, bum, bum! Shit. It felt like someone's stone cold hand was caressing my back. Why? Why had Rena spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa?
親代様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんですよ。
Creepy.
枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
Why? My mind froze. I couldn't process what I was being told.
その後しばらくしてひなみ沢に引っ越されたんです。ああ、そうそう。レナさんはよそ者なんかじゃないですよ。
She's not an outsider?
え？
住民票で分かったんですが、竜宮一家は元はひなみ沢の住人です。
So they lived here, then moved back?
レナさんがちょうど小学校に上がるときに茨城へ引っ越されたんです。
My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you'd see on a blank TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension.
前原さん、大丈夫ですか？もう終わりにしましょうか。
Tell me everything. Those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end here.
レナのことは分かりました。じゃあその最後の被害者の富武さんはどうなんですか？誰と接点があるんですか？
Yeah, who is he connected with? Irritated, I let out one final reprisal.
全員ですよ。
All of them?
お忘れですか、前原さん。
I mean, we were all like goofing around at the festival.
みんなで楽しくお祭りの晩を過ごしたじゃないですか。何人もの警官が皆さんの楽しそうな様子を見ていますよ。
That doesn't count, though. That doesn't count, right? Now there was nothing I could respond with. I fell silent as my brain turned to mush.
そろそろ出ましょう。ああ、前原さん。お昼の薬は飲みましたか？
I had completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until Oishi-san said that. I got another glass of water and we left the shop after I chugged it down. We got in the car and returned to Hinamizawa via the rough road. I never really paid attention when I was on my bike, but did cars normally shake this much? It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. But that big jolt was from the difference in elevation of the road when it changed from cement to dirt. Oh, they're backward. Tomitake-san died. I was certain that I heard Tomitake-san scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car.
お家の前まで送りましょう。
Oh, thanks.
今日は病気でお休みだったんですよね。
Yep.
長々とお話ししてしまって申し訳ありませんでした。
I mean...
なんで俺に話すんですか？
I blurted out the question. Really, just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer.
私、一応確認しましたよね。お話やめましょうかって。
That's true, he did ask.
じゃなくて、どうして俺に接触してきたんですか？
I understood quite well that Oishi-san was investigating the string of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing, and I couldn't help. Everything Oishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I, having just moved here, possibly know? By chance, if there was a reason for Oishi-san to reach out to me, then it would have to be that I was part of Mion's circle of friends who looked suspicious to Oishi-san.
私ね、今年で定年なんです。
Oh,
定年したらばあ様の意向で引っ越しちゃう予定なんですよ。
okay.
だからこそ在職中にこの事件だけははっきりさせておきたかったんです。
Okay, he wants to solve the case before he retires.
で、大石さんは疑ってるんですよね。
He suspects my friends.
みんなを。
Oishi-san didn't really give a response. It felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration for my feelings.
これはこの道30年の勘です。
Man, imagine being able to retire after only working 30 years.
前原さん、危ないのはあなたなんですよ。
No, I'm in danger. I wanted to reply with, "That's absurd." But in my downtrodden state, I couldn't bring myself to say it.
私は今年で定年ですから来年の綿流しの日にはもういません。だから今年中に決着をつけたいのです。
Yep. In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Watanagashi, I might be the victim.
所長からも注意を受けています。一連の事件は個々に解決しているから蒸し返すなというんです。
Does the chief not think they're connected?
これは一種の圧力です。
圧力って何のですか？
ひなみ沢の誰かです。
Oh.
つきました。
Someone in Hinamizawa doesn't want these murders, like, fully solved?
この辺でいいですか？
After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. The clock read 2 p.m. I was surprised so little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside of the car. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears.
今日の話はすべて忘れてくださっても結構です。
I mean, I wish I could.
ですが、私は捜査を続けますよ。
All right, sir.
お社様のたたりは今年で終わらせます。
Good luck. Godspeed.
何かあったら連絡しろってことですか？
いいんですよ。前原さんがどうしても連絡したくなった時だけでいいんです。
Okay. I wasn't collected enough to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying it.
ゆっくり休んでください。病気でお休みの時によくない話ばかりして申し訳ありませんでしたね。
I didn't really give any sort of response.
私はいつでもあなたの味方です。それだけは信じといてくださいよ。
Okay.
それじゃあ失礼。
Bye. The tires crunched over the dirt road as far as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked up dust. It felt like I was watching a boat only throw me a lifesaver in a shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That was the first time I thought Oishi-san was being unfair. Telling me I was going to be the next victim than just saying to contact him if something happened. This wasn't a criminal investigation. He was fishing. And I was just the bait dangling off the line. Would the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole.
畜生、俺死にたくないよ。
For some time, I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind from the AC from the car. Dang. back in my room. I wonder how much time had passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. Mom was quite the worrywart. Aren't all mothers? Maybe she had called many times, but I just didn't notice it. Answer the damn phone, Keiichi!
もしもし、前原ですけど。
お、生きてた。もしもーし。
Oh, it's Mion.
ミオンだけど。具合はどう？
圭一のお友達ですか？圭一は休んでますけど。変わりましょうか？
お父様で？すみません。
My God, Keiichi-kun! You were just told that your friends might be implicated in a bunch of murders, and you're doing this shit.
バカで引っかかってやがるよ。
After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except, I was suspicious of her even as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me.
元気そうで安心したよ。レナもすっごく心配してたよ。さとこは邪魔はないですわって喜んでたな。リカちゃんは病気でかわいそうですってさ。
チェ、みんなで勝手に大盛り上がりしてたみたいだな。
まあまあ。でさ、ケイちゃん。お見舞いに行っちゃ都合悪いかな。
They wanna come visit me? Why?
お見舞い？いいよそんな。重病人ってわけじゃないんだから。
It's not like I'm dying.
うちのバッチャが山ほどおはぎを作ってさ。
Oh, mochi.
お裾分けに持ってけって言ってんだよ。だから持ってくね。
おいおい、風が映っても知らねえぞ。
I think they make something different in the anime. It's not mochi.
おじさんもレナもおバカさんだから大丈夫。じゃあね。
Both Rena and I are too stupid to get cold.
すぐ行くから。
I think they make it, what is it, ohagi? What do they make in the anime? Oh, ohagi is like sweet rice balls. But it's not mochi. She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Mion... I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later.
どんな感じ？ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
I did, thanks.
そりゃもうしっかりとな。
元気そうでよかった。心配してたんだよ。
Aw, Rena.
悪かったな。明日にはもう大丈夫だよ。
Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions.
ちょっとお邪魔しようかと思ったけど、まだ本調子じゃないみたいだね。
Yep, I need to go lay down.
そうか？
It seemed my face appeared a bit sullen.
じゃあこれ、ケイチくん。みーちゃんのおばあちゃんが作ってくれたおはぎだよ。
Oh, she did say ohagi, not mochi. They just translated it as mochi. It's different. Ohagi is not mochi. Nina held up the package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It was quite hefty.
あ、サンキューな。ミオンのばあちゃんによろしく伝えといてくれよ。
その中にね、レナが作ったのも混じってるんだよ。
She made me one too.
ケイチ君に見つけられるかな。
これ今日の部活を欠席したケイちゃんへの宿題ね。
Alright.
おはぎにアルファベットがついてるから明日回答すること。
Okay. Do I have to pick out the one Rena made?
お見舞いなのか部活なのか、どっちかにしろ。
Right?
元気元気。これなら明日は大丈夫そうだね。
この騒ぎで熱がぶり返したらどうしてくれんだよ、まったく。
みーちゃん、あんまり騒いじゃ悪いよ。
I'm sick. I'm sick and you're trying to get me to do club activities.
お家の人にも怒られるよ。
The other people here will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because the entranceway was a mess.
そうだね。もう行こっかね。あ、そうそうケイちゃん。
What else is there for you to say?
なんだよ。
お昼何食べた？
Look at her eyeballs. Oh shit. The sudden question startled me and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I had never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane, it was almost meaningless. The way she said it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate.
表で食べたよ。
She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. Oh no. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then they'd read too deep into it. So I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I had made, there was a pause before they replied. Is she gonna go crazy? She goes crazy eyed too!
ケイチ君、お
Ah!
昼は外食だったんだね。
The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew that's how it looked to me.
どう？美味しかった？
My friends are scaring me.
なんでそんなことを聞くんだよ。
Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone. Almost as if she knew that I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was.
渋いおじさまとご一緒だったみたいだけど。誰？
Flop. The package with the mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell that the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale.
へえ。ケイチ君、それ誰？
Please don't bully me.
ひょっとしてこの間の人かな？かな？
I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything?
なんでそんなことわかるんだよ。
It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking.
さーてね。おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で、ケイちゃん、何のお話をしてたの？ずいぶんと熱くなってたみたいだけど。
みんなの話はしてないよ。
Just Keiichi-kun, you're a terrible liar.
ミオンともレナとも関係ない。
Oh God.
聞いてもないのにレナたちの名前が出るなんてなんだか怪しいな。
Right? Exactly. Keiichi-kun, what are you doing? Nana's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside of me. I dug my own grave. Keiichi-kun, you stupid motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker.
ま、何を隠れてやろうとも、おじさんにはすべてお見通しってこと。それだけを忘れないでくれればいいかな。
I'll remember. I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly.
ケイチ君、顔色悪いよ。
Because
も
you're
う横
bullying
に
me.
なった方がいいと思うな。
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
They're going back to normal. As if nothing had happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. Creepy! Creepy. I hadn't moved a muscle since I had dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare. As if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was about closed, it opened again silently with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. A single eye peered in through that narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze peered at me once again.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
あ、
明日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
Okay. Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off into the distance, and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Oishi-san and I had talked about. Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just as Mion had said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that that was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Nena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何バカなこと考えてんだよ俺。
I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me from this nightmare. But for some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down. Calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mio knew I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion that I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was just the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous about it, about when I met with Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Man, you got meatballs for brains, dude. You are making excuses. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think that they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of everything, they were really kind to me. Nena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Mion is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. And talking of not getting bored, rambunctious Satoko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing some of the better untold secrets of Hinamizawa from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, when I was told about Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san that Mion, Nena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious, after that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't even have asked Tomitake-san about the past incidents on the night of the Watanagashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity, if I just hadn't... That's right. So that's why they redacted Tomitake-san. They killed him. I think they killed him. That impudent outsider, speaking to the likes of me after everyone went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They'll probably kill Oishi-san as well. Why is it censored? For trying to unearth what everybody was warning me was better left buried. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course a guy like that is going to be killed. Both Tomitake-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders, after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should just fall to Oyashiro-sama's curse and just die. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 Keiichi's going crazy. I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling, like I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that had haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them, after all.
あ、そうだ。おはぎ食べないと。
Let's eat the mochi! Let's eat the ohagi!
どれがレナの手作りか当てないといけないんだよな。
Let's see if I can figure it out. I remembered the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery. That was something else. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper, A, B, C, D, and E. Now then, they said Rena had made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So well that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out.
この一個がレナのか否かが勝負の分かれ目みたいだな。
Let's see. Calm down and think even harder. Mion had said that her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out, if I remember correctly. So that meant 4 of these were from that large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably only made 1. So she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning, the one that Rena had made was this one, E. For a moment, I thought it may have been a trap Mion laid, as she knew I'd pick up on it, but that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, but since she said Rena had made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし。
All right.
お茶も準備 OK。
Oh, my tea's ready too.
まずはディフェンディングチャンピオンのミオンのばあちゃんからだ。どれ？
Not bad. The smooth bean paste and soft chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was so delicate, one would think it was a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion, but, well, first a bite. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factors would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger with a size you just couldn't get enough of. I'd only had one bite of Rena's. I would probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. It seemed my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. It didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then, after sticking for a moment, it slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. At first I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of a metallic sheen on one end of it. Ah, yes, there was a hole for where a thread goes through, like it was a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did look just like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean by looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer, but a voice inside me already knew and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly, I tasted something metallic and felt a prickling pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly, I felt the urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth, and after writhing in agony, I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splort. Splort. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out to the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or a warning or a reminder, nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and others, they consider me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. See, it's not censored there. I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless swamp. Dang, was he hallucinating all of that? Like, he just doesn't seem to be in the right state of mind. I don't know. It's creepy. It's creepy. It's creepy. Alright. Okay. I'm going to save the game. Yes. Into chapter 9. So we've got 10, 11, and 12 left to go. And I think I'm going to save those for Friday. We're going to do 10, 11, 12 Friday. So it's going to be a long stream on Friday. I don't normally stream on Friday. Friday is normally my day off, but it's Halloween. We're going to finish Higurashi. We're going to finish it. Yes. We're going to finish playing Higurashi on Friday. I get home from work probably like, I should put it on my schedule. I'll add it to my schedule and you can take a look. Let's do that right now. Let's see. Seagulls schedule. Add stream. Halloween horror. Finishing Higurashi. And it's gonna be not every Friday, a specific day. Friday the 31st, starting at, let's see, we'll start at 3:30. And it's gonna be till, I'm not sure, it's gonna be to question mark. Okay, got that added in. All right. What do I feel like doing? What do I feel like doing now? I don't know, I feel like I'm tired. I'm not feeling good from yesterday. I had a migraine. Migraines suck. Migraines suck. And then I had to go to work today and had a program. Yeah. We went to Jamaica. Unfortunately, Jamaica was hit really hard by a hurricane. And so taught the kids about hurricanes and how they form and how damaging they can be. And I hope that Jamaica is able to recover. I know last year they got hit really hard by another hurricane, so we'll see. I'll look up see if there's any like good charities or anything to donate to, because unfortunately with the state of the U.S. right now, the government doesn't seem to want to help anybody except rich people. So I know a lot of our foreign aid is not being used, so I'll see if there's any good like charities or collections for Jamaica hurricane victims. And I will put that up on my stream. We'll do that Friday. We'll see how it goes. But yes, I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and playing while reading through Higurashi with me. We're getting to the end. We're getting there. We're getting to the end. Yeah. I am gonna go start getting ready for bed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, streaming probably some Persona 3 Reload, because I am super excited about playing that. I just don't have the energy. I really want to play it tonight, but I just don't have the energy. So the sooner I get ready and go to bed, the sooner I can wake up and stream Persona with you tomorrow. But I also need to do Overwatch stuff. I might work on that this weekend though. But anyway, yeah. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And yep, be safe, stay safe, and I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now. No, I hope you're doing good, and yeah. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye.